Hello, welcome back. I'm gonna grab my coffee. Cheers. I wanted to come and make a video today on a specific topic, actually, because I was driving home from work last night and I was thinking about just like some things going on in my life and some things like I've been learning in therapy and just like I have just been trying to follow the theme, or I guess maybe the theme has been presenting itself in my life of accept and move forward. And this might sound like I'm saying move on from whatever you're dealing with, which some things and sometimes you do just gotta move on, but that's not really like what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is like it can be easy to kind of dissociate or kind of, I guess, not really think about the things that have happened to us in life, especially like if they're things that we haven't processed and are kind of just like really emotionally taxing to think about. And I guess I've definitely been dealing with those things recently and been trying to like confront some of these things that I have not been thinking about, and some of these things that I would just rather pretend don't exist. When I feel doing that is actually stunting growth. I feel like doing that is keeping you from going forward and kind of keeping you from empowering yourself. Because, like, let's say something bad happened to you, right? Which, being a human, bad things happen to you, you know? And it can be really easy to, you know, have that be something that you devote a lot of your time and energy either thinking about a lot or ignoring. Either way, you're expending a lot of energy doing both of those things. Even if you think that you're just ignoring something, inside you are building up a lot of pressure and a lot of unresolved feelings. And I guess for me, that's how I feel. For me, that's how I feel. And I don't know if anyone can relate. I'm sure that you can, because it is true, right? To me, it's true. And I just think that it's important to accept things for how they are. There's a skill in DBT that talks about radical acceptance, the idea of accepting accepting things radically acceptance, right? Who would have thought? But the whole point is to just basically continue to commit to yourself that you are going to accept the things that happen to you in life and the situations that you are in. And that can be scary, especially because I don't want it to get mixed up and say that you should always, you know, let yourself stay stuck in the place that you are by accepting the situation that you're in. But I think by accepting things for how they are, you are able to make a plan to move forward in your life, right? Like, for example, with my car. My car, I love her so much, and I'm so grateful to have this car. It's giving me a lot of problems. Like, over and over again, this thing is giving me problems. And each time I get it fixed, I just try to ignore it. But my car is at the point where more problems will continue to persist. And so, for that brief time where things seem fine, I feel great, I feel happy, and like in the back of my head, I know that it's gonna like just be a temporary situation, but if I can live in the temporary moment, then what do I need to worry about, right? But recently, another problem has come up with said car. I have to bring it back to the mechanic and spend some money that I don't have, and so I'm just trying to accept the fact that my car is going to keep doing this because it's just an old car, and I accept that. And so therefore, since I have accepted that, I can then make moves and decisions in my life to resolve the whole car issue. And so now my focus is to get myself out of this situation. I'm going to be working more to have more money so I can put more money into paying off the loan I have on my car, so I can therefore look into buying a new one that has less mileage on it and won't give me as many problems. And that is kind of like a more of a like material situation, but this can also be applied to emotional situations, like getting stuck thinking about the past or like worrying about the future, right? I When I was a teenager, I used to like suffer a lot more with depression than I do now, and I just spent a lot of time thinking about like the bad things that have happened in life, and it was also kind of hard because like a lot of those present situations I was in were really difficult to just deal with on the day to day, right? I love being an adult. That's all I'll say. But let me drink a sip of my coffee first. Anyway, as I was saying, I feel like since becoming an adult, though, I have definitely spent more time thinking about the future, which I think it makes sense being in your 20s. Like, you're going to think a lot about the future and like what you're going to do in your life, and it can be really hard because like you're still so young and it's so hard to kind of know what you want to do in the first place, right? It's so hard to figure out what you want to do in life. But I try to kind of, I don't know, get more into like a middle ground of acceptance with I do not know what the future is going to hold, because at the end of the day, the day has ended. No, I'm just kidding. At the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. There's always going to be situations that you didn't plan for, right? And so, like, you just have to accept that you don't have a magical crystal ball that will, like, show you your path in life, which I think, honestly, you should let that excite you, and you should let that make you feel some peace, because it definitely does for me. Because I feel like if I knew the future, I would always be trying to do a certain thing to get there, or blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. And so, like, looking at my present situation now is what I can do, and not saying you shouldn't think about the future at all and that you shouldn't have goals and ambitions and plans, because that's not good. That's not a good thing to do. And I will make another video about that someday. But you can, in this moment right now, which is the only time that exists, is do something. Just do something. You can make a plan for the goals that you want to achieve. And you can, enact those actions that will get you towards your goals. And you can start saving money for a certain thing that you want, or like a financial goal that you have, or you can, if you want to like be more social, you can go outside, leave your house today. And like, example for me, like, one of my goals is to meet more people who are interested in like creating music, right? And people in my city that are in the musical profession. And so tonight I'm going to go to an album listening party, because there are going to be people there who like music, right? And my plan is to do something like that every week so I can start to make connections. And also, another goal of mine is to be more sociable and to work on having a more outgoing demeanor, and to be more expressive as a person, and work on my conversational skills, like small talk, and even just like talking to people that you don't really know. That's just like one of my goals. And so therefore, I am doing the thing. I'm enacting the plan. And, I can only do that once I accept the situation that I'm in, right? Because I could give you a whole binder full of reasons to say like why I can't do this or that or whatever, right? But that's not going to help me, is it? Like, I could say, I was a shy kid, so like I could never be like sociable now, or like my social anxiety is like too, like, or like I have too much social anxiety to ever be able to like talk to somebody like that. But you know what? As we have established in the past videos, is that you create your own reality, and you tell yourself the beliefs that create your world, right? And if I could wish for anything in this world, like, so badly, is for people to stop telling themselves limiting beliefs because they think that they would never be able to accomplish something because this or that or whatever. And it's like, once you give yourself the opportunity to say yes to yourself and like give yourself a bit of encouragement and act opposite to your emotions, like so much can change for you. And I'm not saying I'm good at this either. I'm not. That's why I'm in therapy. That's literally why I'm in therapy. And that's like why I'm like making these YouTube videos talking about these things, is because this is something that I think about a lot, and it's something that I'm trying to enact into my life. And so therefore I am, right? And so I'm just a guy talking on the internet. But you know what? I feel like there's some value to what I'm saying because, oh my gosh, okay. I haven't read from the gratitude book yet, but I just opened the page and literally the first thing it said, well, trigger warning God. Trigger warning the mention of God. But basically, it's saying, God, thanks for everything, just as it is. And you know what? How fitting is that for the theme of this video? I'm literally going to take a picture of that on my phone. Because, like, okay, and, well, actually, I won't read the second page because I might need it for a later video. But, yeah, in retrospect, I always say this. In retrospect, everything always makes sense. You look back at your life, and, you know, you'd never be in the place where you are without all of those events happening. And, you know, in 10 years from now, it's going to be the same thing, right? And so you can get caught up in all of this worrying about, like, what's going to happen, and, like, it can be so debilitating, like, oh my gosh, I understand that for real. Like, making a decision is, like, the hardest thing to do in this life, because, like, you can feel like doing one thing is going to, like, mess up your whole life forever, which is just, like, for most things is not true. Like, you can always pivot in life, right? And it is important to be mindful of the decisions that you make. And I think the best advice that I can give is to make decisions that align with your values in life. And if you are unclear of what your values are, I would say a really good thing to do is look up a list of values, just like on the internet, and write down the ones that resonate with you, because that's also going to help you build a better sense of your identity and a better sense of self, and it's going to really help you get towards your goals, right? So I really recommend doing that. I think it's actually really, really helpful, because then when you make decisions, you're having a hard time, and you're like, I'm not sure of what I want to do, I'm unsure, I'm undecisive, you can remember what your values are, and you can take into consideration of what your goals are, and then you can make the decision that aligns with that. Even if it's scary, you can look back and you can say, I made this decision because it aligned with my values and it aligned with my goals, and so therefore you made an informed decision, right? And that's important. Let me just take a sip of my coffee. But yeah, I guess that's just the theme of these past couple days, is just to radically accept all of the things of your life, because then you will find peace and you will find motivation for moving forward, which feels really empowering, and it'll make you feel really good. And also, start making habits. Start following a schedule and implement things that you will do every day that are the same, because it will really like save your mental health for real. Go to bed at the same time every night. Go to bed at the same time every night. Wake up at the same time every morning. If you're not going to do one of those things, if you're not going to do both of those things, at least do one. I would recommend doing both, but at least do one. Especially waking up at the same time every morning. Like that, it just makes you feel more in control, and it makes you feel just like you're taking care of yourself, because you are. And there's so many things every day that are up in the air or that can change. And so those routines that you have are going to anchor you and make you feel like life is less sporadic. And that's so important, because in order to be able to grow and to move forward, like I'm saying, so you need to feel safe, right? You don't have to feel comfortable. You don't have to feel comfortable, but you need to feel safe, and you need to feel like you can trust in yourself. And so by having a little more control, or at least having a little more feeling of control in your life, is going to help you a lot. And I guess another theme that I've just been thinking a lot about, not just this week, but for a while now, is just like my goals. And I think maybe, yeah, that's just like a symptom of, I don't know if it's a symptom of life, but it's definitely a symptom of being in your 20s, for sure. And yeah, just put in the work for yourself, because you deserve it. And that's all I can say. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and let me know if anything I said resonated with you guys, because I can understand how hard it can be in life. And I don't know, just have faith that you can do the things to improve your situation, and that you are not stuck, because you have the power to change your perception of the world, and you have the power to change the perception of yourself. And never tell yourself that you can't do something that you want to do, because at the end of the day, that choice is up to you. And so don't be the one to tell you no, because there are enough people out in the world who won't believe in you. And so if you have the power to do it yourself, do it. Be your own supporter. I love you. Have a good day.